All right, so we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah, name of Yah, Mashal, HaMashiach this day. They pick us up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they was testified, come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor of another and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there is one that accuses you, even Moses, of whom you trust. But had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote it. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Proverbs 14 and 34. You know, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. I want you to come back. Shalom, man. I want you to come over here to Isaiah 59. Get you Daniel chapter 8 while you're at it. Isaiah 59, pick it up at verse 9, I suppose. Isaiah 59 and 9. Therefore, judgment is far from us. Make that verse 8. Matter of fact, make it 7. Isaiah 59 and 7. It says there's about this in regards to a few things last night, and I'm also going to touch on something. Did I mention this to everybody? Y'all know what the Shekinah is. Who knows what that is? Let me rephrase that. How many of you have heard that word before? You heard that word before? Where you heard that word at, R.J. Washington, because that's what he had in his name. Because he's no longer with us. And that's what it means. But see, we're going to go through what that really means and what they're really telling you. I know I was telling them about it last night. We were talking about, I was telling them, like, you wonder why Melo and Durant changed their numbers. Melo wore number 15 in college. And all of a sudden, he go to New York Knicks. He changed his number. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, Kevin Durant go to the Brooklyn Nets. He changed his number. These are not random happenstances by any means or stretch of the imagination. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you will hear a lot of Orthodox Jews talk about the Shekinah because it's Kabbalistic in nature. You know what I'm saying? But we'll discuss it because it's relevant to something that we're going to look at tonight. That's why I say this. That's why I mentioned it. Now look at this, what he said, right? Their feet and paths are running to shed innocent blood. What I want you to go to is Luke chapter 21, if you will. Luke chapter 21. I want you to pick it up at verse 10. Luke 21 and 10. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, famines, pestilence, fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these, they shall lay hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogue, in the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Now notice what he said, and that's what the purpose of you getting grabbed in front of these people is for a testimony. He said they like to shed innocent blood, and they constantly run into destruction. Now he referring to Yasharal in this instance and what they did to Mashiach. But always remember this here. Pause and go to Matthew chapter 25. And after that, I want to say Acts chapter 9, just for 2 witnesses. This Matthew 25, we get straight to the point. And verse 41 of verse 40. Matthew 25 and 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Truly I say unto you, inasmuch as you've done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, you have done it unto me. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, you cursed to the everlasting life, prepared for the devil and his angels. For when I was hungered, you gave me no meat. I was thirsty, you gave me no stranger, you took me not in. And you clothed me not. Sick and in prison, you visited me not. Then they shall also answer him, Lord, when saw we you hungered, or thirst, or stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not serve unto you? Then shall he answer and say, truly I say unto you, inasmuch as you unto one of these, the least of these, you did it not unto me. So you have to understand something that y'all should already know. If somebody is in Mashiach, what you do to them is what you did to the Lord. You just didn't do that to them. And that's whether it be good or whether it be evil. It's one of the things that very many people overlook. What you do to Yahusha is the same as, well, what you do to somebody in Yahusha is the same as doing it directly to him. Period. You know what I'm saying? There's no way around it. Remember what he said, and I think it's in the book of Matthew. He said if anybody receive anybody in my name, he said they'll receive a prophet's reward. Matter of fact, let me just grab that for you. I think it's chapter 2. And it is. Pick it up at verse 37. Shalom. Matthew 10 and 37. He that loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. You know, that's funny. I was thinking about that earlier when a lot of people got upset. When some of them women was like, you know, if it came down to saving my husband or my child, I'll let my child die. And I would listen to Sonny, and the brother made a strong point. And it's probably the mother goddess type programming that people have. It's that, you know, it'll just be you and the child, sans the man. You don't need the man. You know what I'm saying? Versus the aspect of how that woman looked at it, of saying, you can have another baby. I can't have another husband. You know what I'm saying? Because you got instances in this book where a woman husband died and she never remarried. You know what I'm saying? Like Anna never remarried. Anna was almost 90 years old. She never remarried after her husband died. See, that's a different type of look. That's the one in the book of Luke. Then, of course, somebody had mentioned Judith in the Apocrypha. That woman grew to a very old age and never remarried when her husband passed. You know what I'm saying? Some people just, you know, some women, they be ready. That coochie go to inch and I got to get me another dude. You know what I'm saying? It's the aspect of course, you see it a lot more now of the replicating of the mother goddess, of women always posing with their child with no man. You know what I'm saying? Because they want you to replicate that type of mindset that you are exalted above the man. The man is not important. You know what I'm saying? I can replace him easily. I just need the child. I don't really need you. You know what I'm saying? Because I say that type of process, the thought process of that woman is really almost like the thought process of women in old times. Because a woman in old times, she gonna pick a husband. You know what I'm saying? We can always have another child. I can't get another husband. Then again, some women probably have low quality men, so it doesn't matter to them if the nigga dies. You know, I get men love. Nevertheless, he said, he that take not his stake and follow after me is not worthy of me. He that find his life shall lose it, and he that lose his life for my sake shall find it. He that receive you, receive me. He that receive me, receive him that sent me. He that receive a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. He that receive a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. Whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water only in the name of a disciple, truly I say unto you, he shall no wise lose his reward. So what is he insinuating to you? Not even insinuating, but directly telling you. Whosoever belongs to me, your acceptance of them is the same as accepting me. What you do to them is the same as what you've done to me. See, this is a thought process that is not taught or prevailed in the earth. A lot of people read Matthew 25 and they go to talk about what you do to poor people, and that's not who he was talking about. Let me show you what I mean. Proverbs chapter 17. This son to bring something to your remembrance. Oh, that page ain't in the book. Proverbs 17:5. Listen what it says. It says, whoso mock the poor, reproaches maker. He that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. Now, nobody said mock the poor, that's mocking the afflicted or mocking the humble. You know, it's another one that tells you that whosoever lend unto the poor, lend unto his maker, which is the basis of what's in Matthew 25. The point of mentioning this is what you do to someone who belongs to Yahuwah is the same as doing it to Yahuwah. This is why I say you'll be persecuted for my name's sake, because they're not persecuting you, they're persecuting him. And let's prove that in Acts chapter 9, I believe. If it ain't Acts 9, it's going to be Acts 16. Acts 9 and 1. And Saul, yet breathing out threats and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went into the high priest and desired of him letters to Damascus to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men and women, he might bring them bound into Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from Shammahim, and he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecute you me? He said, who are you, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahushua, whom you persecute. It is hard for you to kick against the pricks. Notice he didn't say, oh, you persecute my saints, or you persecute those that believe on me. He said, you're persecuting me. That's why Paul told you, he that despises not man, but Elohim. Because that's what you got to understand. When somebody belongs to Yahuwah and they are in Yahushua, then whatever you do to them, it's the same thing you've done to the Lord. You're not doing that to that person. That's whether it's good or whether it's evil. If you did good to them, sit back and look at it, right? You look at the widow woman that Elijah got sent to. You don't think Yahuwah was going to require her for that? Matter of fact, Elijah told the woman said, I ain't got nothing to this right. He said, don't worry about that. Just go ahead and make this right here. She ended up having more food than enough to get through that family. But it's the fact that she accepted somebody who came in the name of Yahuwah. Some of those people during that time knew that if you accepted somebody who came in the name of Yahuwah, you was accepting Yahuwah. You weren't just accepting that individual. Oh, the heart. Now, see, her situation was a little different. Hers was, she heard about what happened. So when they came through, she like, oh, I'm trying to get down with y'all. Because I heard about y'all, God, and I don't want no problems. Because I know y'all coming through to take all of this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm rolling with y'all. But when you look at instances where you see prophets or priests and somebody saying, no, the same token of what Lot did with the angels. He don't know them angels. He like, no, come in here. Get this, get that, get this, get that. Which is one of the reasons why that epistle in Hebrews tell you to be careful when you entertain strangers, because some people entertain angels unaware, because that's you just accepted Yahuwah in your house. You don't know that. You thinking it's just a person. You know what I'm saying? You thinking, oh, I ain't got it. I can't do this. I don't want to do that. You just did that to the Lord. You didn't just do that to that person. Remember, I think he said that in the instance in the book of Luke. He said, when you have a feast, he said, don't call the people who can pay you back. He said, call the lame and the sick and the poor who can't pay you back. He said, I'll pay you back at a day of resurrection. See, we be looking for the instant gratification, so you can't really see that far down the line, that you're going to get that on the back end. But see, you want yours right now. It's the same token when what it was, the priests and judges, when he was walking through the street, and what the dude said, he said, nah, bro, stay in the house. Come in the house. Come in the house. It's different though. We have a different, now, of course, you know, niggas a little crazier now. It's a different type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you didn't. That's why he gave that parable in Matthew 25. Because they was like, oh, when did we do that to you? Because you shouldn't have to see. You see, we shouldn't have to have the mentality, oh, I do it for Yahushua, but I ain't doing it for you. The Lord look at it as you wouldn't do it for me either. Because if you didn't see me and him, then why would you do it for me when you saw me? So I'm telling you this here because this stuff gonna get real, and you're gonna have to have that type of mindset. Come on back to Isaiah 59. I need Revelation 12 though. It might be 13. Matter of fact, you know what? Come over here to Daniel. Daniel, get me where I need to go. Just hold Isaiah 59. The reason why I started it, and I ain't even got to the verse yet in Isaiah 59. And that's in verse 15, because I ain't gonna go through all the stuff here. Because he's talking about them people sinning and their sins getting multiplied and they transgression and they speaking oppression and revolting and they uttering words of falsehood, judgment turned backwards. And he said, truth fails. And a man that departs from evil is found as a prey. Now, what did we just read in Luke 20:21? That you'll be persecuted for his name's sake. So when you depart from evil, you will be a prey. Little dude I know, man, I got love for him. He came at me today like, man, you tripping. What y'all gathered on the Sabbath for, you disobeying the authority. I said, man, let me tell you something, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I said, let me tell you something, man. Number one, these people don't even have the authority to tell you to do what they're telling you to do. Number two, who cares what they say? What did Yahuwah say? And I told him the truth. I told him the same thing I told y'all. For a nigga to be like, oh, you could just go online, that's the coward's way out. That's the coward's way out. Because if it's a day where he commanded you to gather and you choose not to do so because a man tells you not to do so, you took the coward's way out. And then you're going to try to convince people that Yahuwah will accept that. I said it last night, and I'll tell it to you again. If you're a man, you never compromise your ideals and your standards for no one. At that moment that you have done that, you are no longer a man. And you're no longer worthy of respect. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even an opinion or perspective. That is just facts. You do not compromise what you stand for as a man. If you say you a Muslim and you believe this, that, and the third, then stand on that end. And don't compromise it at any point in time. If you say you's a Christian, or if you say you's a Buddhist, or whatever the case may be, but if you stand back and say you are Yahudim, a servant of the living Elohim, who opposes his name, you do not compromise what you stand on for anyone. Because at that point, you're no longer just in Yahuwah's eyesight, and you're definitely not a man. Because if you compromise that, what else would you compromise? Compromising don't start with just one item of compromising what you believe in. You will continue to do so. When situations and circumstances where you feel like it's for your best interest. That's why I say if you won't take up your stake, you're not worthy of him. So you mean to tell me that you wouldn't be willing to die for it? He was willing to die for it, and he didn't do nothing wrong. And truth fell in the street. He made himself a prey because he didn't commit sin. Paul, Hebrew chapter 12, verse 2. But see, that's a different type of level. Nobody want to have that conversation. I don't care nothing about Lenny Curry. I don't fear Lenny Curry. I don't fear Ron DeSantis. I sure as hell don't fear Donald Trump. Matter of fact, I don't fear a single solitary government official, military officer, Florida State trooper, or Jacksonville Sheriff's officer that got breath in his lungs. Fear you for what? What can you do to me? And you know what this young man told me? Oh, y'all gonna catch some virus and be sick. Well, if I get sick and die, praise you who it is. That means I ain't got to be here with you niggas. You said that junk like that's a horrible thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do niggas say they believe in the resurrection of the dead? Niggas scared to die. Paul say death is gain. That's how he looked at it. He said he'd rather depart. He said, but it's more needful for him to be here with the people. That would have been selfish on his part. His desire was, I gladly lay down. And I feel him too. I understand exactly where he's coming from. Look here, man. Isaiah 57 tell you merciful men are taken away, and men don't lay it to heart because their eyes won't have to see the evil to come. That nigga said that junk like that was a punishment. You're gonna die. Well, guess what? I ain't got to be a part of nan part of tribulation, cuz I ain't got to see nan. Who wants to sit back and see little children get their heads lopped off? Women get raped, men get killed, people get beheaded. for doing and standing for what's right. Who want to see that? Like, who really want to see that? And I felt like that from the minute I understood what the text said. But again, Fat Boy's talking about that all the time. Who wants to see that? Who want to see dead bodies laying in the street? You know what I'm saying? For standing for Yahuwah. Not just getting killed because you out here doing evil, but you getting killed because you stood for Yahuwah. Who wants to see that? Nobody want to see that. What did Yahushua do when he looked on Jerusalem? What did he do? He wept. Why did he say he wept? They didn't even know their visitation. Boy, these people finna die. They had no idea. They had no idea. Nobody want to see that. You gonna die. And what's your point? Niggas don't believe the word. That's what it be, though. That's all it be. Why are we going there? Hebrews 12 and 1. Niggas don't believe the word. That's all it's gonna be, though. I thank you for it. He said, wherefore, seeing we also are accomplished about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let aside every weight and the sin which do easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Excuse me. Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the stake, despising the shame, and is sat down at the right hand of the throne of Elohim. Let me ask you a question. I know it's an easy question. In the book of Revelation, in chapter 3, Yahushua said, if you overcome, what would he grant to you? Huh? No, Revelation chapter 3 say, he that overcome, he will give them a particular reward. Oh, no, that's one of them, but that ain't in Revelation 3. Well, there's two of them in Revelation 3, so I'm not correct. That's in Revelation 2. I'm correct myself. In Revelation 3, tell you if you overcome, he'll give you the right to enter into New Jerusalem and be, know the name of his Elohim and be a pillar in the city of his Elohim, and you'll know his new name. But he also made you another promise in Revelation chapter 3 if you overcame. Revelation 2 to 3, he tell you a lot of stuff you'll get if you overcome. That's Revelation 2, verse 26, 27 to be specific. You got Revelation 3 and 20. He told you that he that overcome will sit down in my throne as I'm sat down in my Father's throne. Now notice the reason why did I mention that? Because it said to look at Yahushua, the author and finisher of your faith, because he despised the shame and he had joy for the task that was set before him. So for him, it was a joyous thing to die because that was what was set before him. Son, you have to die for your people. And he found that to be a joyous matter. And not only did he find it joyous, he despised the shame. Because remember, sin is a reproach to any people. So he despised the sin. Then on top of that, it said when he did this, he was sat down at the right of the throne of Elohim. Now, if you have that same mindset, what will you be? Sat down in the throne of Elohim. I didn't read it last night, but it popped up. But remember what in Matthew 20 when his apostles asked him, who was the greatest? He said, can you drink from the cup that I drink from and be baptized with the baptism that I'm baptized with? Because when you're saying you drinking this cup, you're saying that you're willing to die. That's what you're saying, that you're willing to die. Nevertheless, let's continue. He said, for consider him that endures such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest you be wearied and faint in your mind. Now look what he just asked you to do. Consider. What does the law tell you about if you walk contrary to Yahuwah? What did Yahuwah say he would do? He'll walk contrary to you. So you have to understand, we went over this before. Yahushua went contrary to himself. He contradicted himself because he was not supposed to do that. So that shows you the love that he had because he went on contradiction to himself. He ain't supposed to die for those sinners. He's supposed to let you perish in that. But instead, he went contrary to himself. Because when you commit sin, you contrary to Yahuwah, so Yahuwah cannot meet and agree with you. So instead, he offered himself so he can agree with you in contradiction to his own standard. So you could be saved. He didn't do it for himself. You should know that from Ezekiel 36. He didn't do it for himself. I mean, let me put it this way. He didn't do it for you. He did it for his great name's sake. Because you ought to be ashamed. Because you know what I'm saying? Because some people be ready to fall out. Be ready to fall out. You ain't even going through nothing. Ready to fall out. Let's look at the next thing he said. You have not resisted on the blood, striving against sin. How many of y'all have shed blood so you wouldn't commit sin? How many of you done that? Well, when you know that you haven't done that, then you can see what will happen in the time. All they're trying to do is get your mind prepared in the event that you have to do that you will recall him. And when you recall him, then you know it's nothing. Do what you do. That's why you can look at the police. I'll take you to jail. Well, where your jail at? What's wrong with your car? Where your cuffs at, nigga? You ain't said nothing. That's not a threat. Matter of fact, let me show you why I said that. Revelation chapter 2. Two and 8, if you would. Revelation 2 and 8. And unto the Malachim of the synagogue in Smyrna, right? These things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know your works in tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of them, to say they are Yahudim and are not, but of the synagogue of Hashatan. Fear none of those things which you shall suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried. And you shall have tribulation 10 days, but be faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Ruach saith unto the synagogue. He that overcome shall not be hurt of the second death. Notice what he told you, to be faithful unto what? Yep. Death. What was Yahushua faithful to? Unto death. This is how righteousness exalts a nation. Because what did he say that he would do when he exalts you? He give you a robe, he give you your palms, he give you a name which no man has ever except the person who he gave it to sit down at his right hand in his throne. And that's what I go back to when he tell you that truth was fell down. Let's go back to Daniel 8. Eight and 12, if you want.
You still got Revelation 12.
Yeah, I don't even need it. Because all of them going to mention from appreciation. All of them are going to mention in Revelation 12 what he told you. That the men ain't love their own lives even unto the death. But they overcame it by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And it said, and the host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced the prophet. Let me ask y'all a question. What is the daily sacrifice? Huh? The flesh? Anybody else? What is the daily sacrifice that is being mentioned right here? That the host was given to him against the daily sacrifice. Matter of fact, let me back that up. Pick it up at verse 10. Let me back it up at verse 10 for you real quick. Okay, son, he having a hard day. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the host and the stars to the ground and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host. And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And the host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Now I'm going to sit back and tell you what it said. The daily, as it translated in verse 12, is continuing. This is something that continues perpetually. The word is tamed. This is perpetual. But when it sit back and it say the daily sacrifice, it has the word for sin, though. And it has pashak. And that's what it translates to.
Thanks.
So it says the host was given to him against perpetual transgression by reason of transgression. So it's not telling you that a daily sacrifice it was given against him. It's telling you it was given him to perpetually transgress. Let me see what the other ones say for daily sacrifice. They probably say the same thing because daily is in italics. So sacrifice is in italics. So that means that's not what was there. Now it has daily, same word again, but sacrifice was taken away. That's room. And y'all know what that is, or that which is exalted or lifted up. So what it says, he magnified himself against the prince of the host, and by him, he that is daily exalted, and the place of his sanctuary were cast down. So now looking at it, what it actually says, what do you think that's referring to? That the host was given unto him to perpetually transgress. And that caused the word or the truth to get cast to the ground. And because of that, transgression practiced and prospered. So you know what practice is? It's a sa, it's something that is made or produced, appointed or ordained or instituted. So it lets you know that transgression is instituted, and then the word for prospered is salah, and it advanced and it succeeded. Well, it goes past the idol. And I'm going to show you why it goes past the idol. Just swing over a couple chapters to Daniel chapter 11. Now, that's like I said, a lot of this stuff you already know, but it's putting all this stuff together. Because we're going to talk about something. We're going to talk about that little horn and that horn. And why that little horn and that important, because it's important when you're dealing with the Shekinah, because that horn and the Shekinah are one and the same. They're one and the same. There is no difference. Daniel chapter 11, man, and verse 30. It says, for the ships of Shittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved in return and have indignation against the Kadash covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the Kadash covenant. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall make the abomination that make desolate. Now let's see what it say for daily sacrifice right now. Because again, the sacrifice is in italics. So that means that word is not there. Now for this here, when they say daily sacrifice, it's just the word tamed. So again, it's something that's perpetual. So then now y'all know what the abomination of desolation is, right? Because Yahusha told you to hit it when you seen it. What is the abomination of desolation? When he make himself God. So it's not taking away no sacrifices. This is allow you, if you're talking to somebody and say, well, where's the daily sacrifice? That's not what's there. So you know that that's not what's there. So that's not referring to that. Of them stopping sacrifices in the temple. That's not what it translates to. Doesn't translate to that. What it translates to you is this person is going to be perpetually committing sin. He's going to perpetually be doing things that are not proper to cause truth to be passed down to the ground and for sin to increase. Let's go back over here to Revelation 13. And it'll make it easier for you to understand why Matthew 24 saying, because the love of many wax cold, iniquity shall abound. Because the faith will get cast down to the ground. The same way we read in Isaiah 59, that the truth get cast down to the ground, and anybody who departs from evil makes themselves a prey. Oh yeah, without question. Oh, Revelation 13. 13 and 3, if you would. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they that worship the serpent which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? Now, Paul, what did Daniel 7 say that that horn would have the ability to do with the saints? He would make war with the saints. So now ask yourself, why is the question being stated, who will be able to make war with him? Oh, let's look at Daniel 7 for those who don't know. I think we read it the other day, but it's all good. 7 and 15. Daniel 7 and 15. I, Daniel, was grieved in my ruach, in the midst of my body, the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me known the interpretation of the things. These great beasts which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. For the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom ever, even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was different from all the others, was exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. So remember, when it's telling you that his teeth are made of iron, it means he rules fiercely. What did it say that Yahushua will rule with? A rod of iron. So when you see that teeth of iron, this is harsh rule. He said the 10 horns that were in his head of the other which came up before 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. And I beheld the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came and judgment. That this man, his one horn out of those 10, this one little horn is coming out of these 10 horns. But I want you to recall these horns, because these horns are important for what we're going to look at a little later. Come on back to Revelation 13. That one little horn, so what you got is, you're going to have some cataclysmic event. The world will be reshuffled. There'll be an X amount of kings. Out of those 10 kings will come one king that is different than them all, which will be more dreadful and talk trash against Yahuwah and seek to kill anybody who goes against him. That's why he said, who will make war with him? Because the saints will be making war with him. Why would the saints be making war with him? Because the weapons of our warfare are spiritual and not carnal. We're not coming at this man trying to shoot him with guns and knives. We warn against him because you telling lies. So just like you sit back and you people stupid, Catholics is here, you can do it online. It's just the preset, the precursor of this is their hatred for Yahuwah. The stuff that they saying ain't got nothing. I've been telling y'all this for years. It ain't got nothing to do with you. They hate Yahuwah. That's who they hate. That's who they have a problem with. Because you sit back and look at, oh, my family treat me different. Oh, my friends, like, it ain't you. It's not you. They hate him. Because if you wasn't representing him or mentioning his name or his righteousness, notice the key word, his name, his words, his righteousness. It ain't your name. It ain't your words. It ain't your righteousness. If you weren't doing that, these people would still, what did Yahushua tell you? He said, if you were of the world would do what? Love its own. He said, because you're not of the world hates you. Because you not own what they own. You know, the world wants you to run around in fear of a virus so you can worship man. So you can say, man, save me. Man, give me the solution. That's what they want. That's why they do the Hegelian dialectic or problem reaction solution. To do the same thing that's on the back of the dollar bill. I forget the Latin term, but it's to bring order out of chaos. That's what they like to do. And we was looking at that a little earlier, of what you see that in a lot of, specifically they were talking about Batman and the Joker. And Batman and the Joker are the same person. One's order, one's chaos. They balance each other out. That's why they into the trannies and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if you know ancient antiquity and history, they always had trannies and androgynous beings. That's probably why Vince McMahon brought the Gold Dust wrestling character out in the 90s. He was an androgynous character. Is he gay? We don't know. And Dustin Rhodes was willing to get breasts to further that role. Huh? He say he's not in real life, but if we know in real life, he probably is. You know what I'm saying? But you know, wrestlers be willing to do that. That was back then when what they call kayfabe was still real. That didn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Like in wrestling, they would keep the heels and the baby faces away from each other because they didn't want you to know that these men were friends in real life and banged whores and got drunk together. They really wanted you to believe that these people had a problem with each other. You know what I'm saying? But we always have to remember, and I've been telling y'all, the people you see that come through that TV, they are paid actors. That's what they get paid to do. Like literally, and you probably just seen it with all this stuff that's going on. All sports are listed under the transcript of entertainment. But see, I knew that before the word. When I got to prison and I started sitting on thinking on type of stuff, that's when I no longer cared about sports in the fashion that I had once did, because I knew that it's just entertainment. It's not that serious. This is not a real competition. This stuff is engineered for narratives and storylines to generate money. You know what I'm saying? It's not about who's the best player or who's the best team. It's about who can make the most money and have the most compelling story, so you will tune in and watch, so companies will pay advertising dollars, so we can sell merch, so you'll go buy it. And then when stuff like this happens, what they doing? They telling the players, we not going to pay you. So that's why the players like, we got to come up. So that's when the NBA told their players, we might not have no money for you. They told the same thing to baseball players. We might not have no money for you. Because I have been thinking for years, when this stuff go down, how are they going to get rid of sports? They make so much money from it. Because I know the athletes are expendable. They don't care about them. They're commodities. They literally get on TV and call grown men assets. That's what they literally get on TV and do. Oh, they don't have enough assets to make this trade. Well, assets are tangible items that are what's what I'm looking for? What is the word that are inanimate? You usually mention of assets is usually an inanimate object. You know what I'm saying? Homes, stock certificates. You know what I'm saying? Gold, silver, fiat currency. Not a human being. You don't call a person an asset. This is how they refer to these men. So they're expendable. You know what I'm saying? They're expendable. Indeed. So knowing that they're expendable, look at what they done. They done shut it down. Just that fast. You know what I'm saying? Just that fast. And it also could be a means of keeping those athletes under control, because look what we can do to you. I can cut your money off at any time. That's why a lot of them niggas join them witch covens. That's why a lot of them niggas join Nike and join Reebok and join Adidas and become witches and hermeticists and things of this nature, because they're gonna take care of you, because now you in the craft. Why do I say that? Because Daniel 8 says that craft would prosper in this wicked master's hand. Let's finish Revelation 13. And verse 4, or verse 5 actually. And he says his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. We can't focus on this stuff too much, because especially how the world moves. It's getting real out here. Back to Daniel chapter 8. So when you look at it, you see that daily sacrifice, as you can see, clearly we know Satan through the beast is going to sit down and teach people. So transgression is going to increase. So there's going to be rebellion. It's going to increase and increase and increase. I told that brother that same thing this morning. There's more people going to hell than people getting in, because more people are going to. Matter of fact, 2 Timothy chapter. Just for the refresh. 2 Timothy 3. Muffington Man. What's up, cuz? What's up? What's up? Second Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unkadosh. You can see that right now. A lot of people is definitely unthankful. Who do you think he's talking about thanking? A lot of people don't thank Yahuwah, don't even consider it. Definitely a lot of people not set apart. He said without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lover of pleasures, more than lovers of Elohim, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Now he referring to the text, but see, I'm gonna take that a step further because there's a lot of cornball niggas leading away a lot of silly women who got all types of different lusts and desires. Because that's the easiest way to get a woman. If you want to get a woman, feed her lust, feed her desires, and you can get her to do whatever you want her to do. That's why when people, that's why as I got, the older I got and the more things that I observed, that's why I always felt like that was the dumbest piece of crap in the world when I heard people say that women were smarter than men. Because I'm sitting there looking at women who supposedly were so intelligent, get ducked on the regular. You know what I'm saying? And why were they getting ducked? Because a nigga was catering to what she wanted to hear and what she desired. That's all you got to do. See, most of the time when women say that dudes be smarter than dudes because they dealing with simps. See, you can get anything from the simp because he putting you on a pedestal. So he'll do anything so you won't get upset with him. But anybody with some sense knows you want to get a woman, all you got to do is win her mind over. You win her mind over, you can do whatever you want to. How do you think a woman will put drugs in her coochie knowing she don't sell no drugs? And sit up there and go to prison with a smile for this nigga. This nigga gonna put a damn dollar on the book, ain't gonna bond out, ain't gonna do nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like straight up no. How can a woman be so smart that she let a nigga who didn't graduate high school duck her and get a brand new car? How is it a running joke about niggas getting a woman tax money, talking about he gonna flip it, and she'll never get her money back? But she's smarter than you. You know what I'm saying? Because any man with some sense knows, especially Satan knows this, if you want to get somebody, cater to their lust. And women are led by their desires. So they're easily manipulated. What's one of the biggest things they say in the world, if you want to get the men, cater to the women. Because most of the men gonna follow behind the women. And that's how the society is set up. Stuff is geared and marketed towards the women because the man is going, come on, man. Ain't no nigga in this life talking about, he with earrings. Ain't no nigga talking about, I want to buy her no diamond ring, no diamond earrings. That's coming from because that's what you desire. So they put that out there. So this man is going to go do this. And that's why dudes come and do the stuff that they do because they know y'all desire certain things. And that's where Satan come in at. You know, you desire certain things. That's a good analogy, Kira. Like you have to realize that because you're a woman if you're a part of Mashiach. And what does Satan come to? He caters to your desires. That's why you have to crucify yourself. That's why you can't serve Yahuwah and be selfish and have selfish inclinations and machinations because you're going to get caught. Because your selfishness is dictated by what you desire. He caters to what people desire. That's how he gets people. Come on back over here to Daniel 8 because I got to hit my point for the evening. We'll drop down a little bit because I got to at least get the main point on why we're here tonight. 8-21. Or make it 8 and 19. Girl, close that door. The boy trying to use the bathroom. That nigga washing his hands. No, I see him standing in front of that, but yeah, he might be in that plan.
Come over here and sit down.
8 and 19.
Come sit down.
Well, 8 and 18. Now, as he was speaking with me, I was in deep sleep on my face towards the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make you know what shall be in the last end of the indignation for the time, for at the time appointed the end shall be. The ram which you saw, having 2 horns, are the kings of Medes and Persia. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of that nation, but not in his power. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors shall come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. And by his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully, shall practice and prosper, and shall destroy the mighty and Kadash people. And through his policy shall he cause craft to prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by shalom shall destroy many. He shall stand up against the prince of princes He shall be broken without hand. Now let's get this word for craft before we run over here to Revelation 17. The word is mirmah, and that's deceit or treachery. So he'll call deceit to prosper. And we know what Yahushua said about Satan, right? He is a liar and the father of it. Because why will deceit or treachery prosper? Because the truth has been cast down to the ground. Now, what is this deceit that they're going to have prosper? Come over here to Revelation chapter 17 and verse 1. Now, Glover, you got to keep it to yourself because you heard it already. Yeah, keep it to yourself because you heard it already. Because he was early. He did. He was early. I ain't even put it on the street. He just happened to hear a brother mention it. So went ahead and told it. Revelation 17 and 1. And there came out of the one of the seven angels, which had seven vials, and talked with me and said unto me, come hither, I will show unto you the judgment of the great whore that sit upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. He carried me away in the ruach into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Now, remember, say this is the beast that come out of the bottomless pit. Everybody that dwell on the earth is going to wonder whose names are not written in the book. So you see a horn, right? Because remember, tell you the 10 horns, and out of that 10 horns comes one little horn that speaks a lot of great things. So you got this whore and you got this horn. What do you think that whore and that horn are representative of according to the deities that these people in the earth worship? And you would be correct, sir. You would have the mother goddess and you would have Pan. Because that's who these two would be representative of. Is the mother goddess and Pan. We should already know that with the whore of Babylon. Because she's nothing but representative of the goddesses of Babylon. And this is the goddess of whom the whole world worships, which is really Isis. The horn is representative because they worship the horn god, who is Pan, who is really Osiris, who is the god of the day. You know this here. You used to do this all the time, Glover. What's your man Dan Bryan used to do when he scored a touchdown? What did he used to do? And you know what he was throwing that X up for? Because if you see photographs of Osiris, he's always like this. Because he's the god of the dead. So he's sitting here. Now, whether Dan Bryan was aware of that or not, I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? But this is what he's doing. Because a lot of symbols that people get, they get that from different places. They don't know where they pick this stuff up at if they're not trained in the craft, being in one of these mystery school systems and learning their religion. See, I used to study all this stuff when I was a kid. Yeah, AAA, all that stuff. It's all dealing with one particular deity. That's what I had told y'all the other day. You are going to probably see the proliferation of the worship of Pan like you could not believe. You know what I'm saying? They've been worshiping the mother goddess in your face for a good long time now. But the reason why I mention this is because you see that what? The whore and the horns are simultaneous. Because the whore is riding on the beast that has horns. So they're one and the same. That whore is persecuting the saints of Yahushua the same way as that horn is persecuting them. But I want y'all to look at something, right? I mentioned this here before about Shekinah. So let's read some information about it. Religion. And the religion is the worship of the mother goddess. When you look at the Babylonian mystery school system, which is basically, if you want to know about the Babylonian mystery school system, all you need to do is look in 2 places. Look at the Catholic Church and look at Islam, because Islam was created by the Catholic Church. If you pay attention closely, yes, that's true indeed. The Jesus fish, y'all ever seen people have that fish? That's a vagina. That's representative of vagina. At the end of the day, the reason why you see the mother goddess and the horn god, because I've told y'all this before, they worship genitalia or bringing together opposites. Well, they worship vagina, they worship penis. That's why everything that you see constructed in the whole earth is either a phallic symbol or a symbol of a woman's womb, because that's what they really worship. That's really what all these stories is about. And that's why they participate in so much sex magic. And this is why he told you when you were coming in the land that they in here doing. Because the stuff that they were doing was in veneration to the deities that they worship. When really it was just the perversions of these people's minds and just want to make up a god and say that he did. Indeed, the obelisk is a penis. And I think y'all know that, right? Y'all know that, right? An obelisk. Basically, the Washington's Monument is nothing but a phallic symbol. You know what I'm saying? And I told y'all before, the reflecting pool is the woman's vagina. And if you pay attention, there are statues erected to the Baphomet that are getting erected all across this country, like in governmental places. So they're going to be letting it be known that they worship the horn god. So when the beast come up, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? What you think going to happen? What you think going to happen? Because everything that Yahuwah say don't do, he do. And then you're going to be coming telling people, oh, you can't do that. Nobody want to hear that. Of course, y'all know that the Shekinah is the glory of the divine presence. It's conventionally represented as light, but it's in the Kabbalah, it's the feminine aspect. When you deal with Kabbalah, y'all know about Jewish people, right? Y'all know how they track their family line? Well, how do the scriptures tell you to track your family line? Through the man. Jewish people do it through the woman. They do it through the woman because they're Kabbalists, because they're goddess worshipers. They worship women. They serve the mother goddess. They don't serve you. That's why they deal with the Kabbalah and the Talmud and things of that nature. How many of y'all familiar with the Talmud? Well, in the Talmud, you know, they say that Yahushua is burning in hell and hot excrement, and that Mary was a whore. Do you not realize that in the Catholic Church and a lot of Christian spots that they deify and worship Mary more than the Lord? How do you wonder why that's the case? Y'all ain't never thought about why do they do that? Because they worship the mother goddess. That's who they serve. That's who they serve. They're a matriarchy. They're ruled and led by women. But the Shekinah is one thing. Now, what does the Shekinah mean? Do you know what the number is that represents the Shekinah? You know what that number is? Go ahead and tell them, Glover, what that number is. The number 7. Now, who knows what the number 7 represents to the occult? Not to, because you know number 7 and to Yahuwah represents completion. But to the occult, what does the number 7 represent? God. And you know what? To a certain extent, you would be correct. See, looking at certain stuff, it brings to mind stuff I read in print. I read a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? About a lot of different things. How many of y'all familiar with chakras? What you know about chakras? You used to fool with chakras? You used to sit in and you gotta sit in your chakras. Oh, you ain't never do that? Yes, they're quote unquote wheels of light. Look how many women y'all probably see on your timeline talking about get your chakras right. Get your chakras in line. You ever seen that?
No, John, you probably not watch that.
No, I don't watch that. Well, come over here and look at chakras. Let me show you something. The number 7 represents the crown chakra. See, they say your chakras start in your groin. And then you got something that come up through your solar plexus and all this here. And then you got the crown chakra. Oh, word. They definitely do. The crown chakra is represented by the number 7. The crown chakra is what brings about what they call Christ consciousness. Do you know what the color is of the crown chakra? It's violet. It's purple. And what was the color of that stinking whore? It was purple. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what they represent. But then, of course, the crown chakra is represented by something. Let me get this information for you real quick. The crown chakra is called something called Sahasrara. This is what it's called. It says located at the top of the head. It's associated with purple or gold. So that might make you assess what the Lakers got going on a tad bit different, because that wasn't their original colors. Because don't think that any of these sports teams are named and the color scheme is just for no reason. They pick particular names. I remember I first got out of prison, I was like, let me look this stuff up. And I seen the jaguar is really something that in ancient cultures was used as a mystic type creature of who that they would pray to try to center their, basically perform witchcraft with. I say, ain't that a thing of love? You know what I'm saying? Had me read this like 09. Had me read assessing my whole life. Like, hey, the doggone jaguar, Tigers ain't about nothing. Because when you see eagles and you see falcons, that's for Horus. That's easy. You know what I'm saying? That's easy to see. When you see bulls, that's easy. That's ball. You know what I'm saying? That's that golden calf you made. That's why they got that big bull head in the middle of the court. That same bull head is in New York in front of Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do this stuff in your face. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was mentioning once I came to the realization, yo, this junk, I remember sitting there watching that, like, that's why your team lost. Like, bro, that junk ain't that serious in the grand scheme of life, my nigga. It's just a game. Nigga, this junk ain't even real. I knew that junk wasn't real when I watched them niggas screw the Blazers. Not the Blazers, but the Sacramento Kings when they were playing the Lakers. That's when I knew right then this junk wasn't real. And what really cemented it when I got to prison is when the Lakers traded for Paul Gasol, and they got him for nothing. Because I had seen that whole offseason, they say, you know what? Lakers, Celtics, remember the glory days? That's when the Celtics had just got Kevin Garnett. And then all of a sudden, the Lakers get Paul Gasol. Them niggas was in the NBA Finals, and that's when it clicked in my brain. This junk is not real. It's straight entertainment. It's for narrative, and I'll no longer take this stuff seriously again in my life. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can sit around, talk spit, this, that, then the third, but in reality, nigga, this junk is phone. You know what I'm saying? Because they will get there who they want to be there in order to make money. Because the Lakers and Celtics were in the final 2 out of 3 years after that. The Lakers and Celtics hadn't been in the finals since the 80s. And it coincided because they had the lowest ratings they ever had for finals because of the Lakers Nets, Lakers Pacers, and Spurs Pistons. And they did something to get you to tune in. Because I had went right up the road when the Pistons and the Spurs had played in the finals. And that was the lowest watched finals in NBA history. And lo and behold, the next year, the Lakers and the Celtics was in the finals. You know what I'm saying? True story. Jessica say her whole family Catholics. Most Puerto Ricans, most Haitians, most French people, they Catholics. That's the dominant religion. Like I said, you go in there and you praying to a man talking about, Father, forgive me, I'll give you 5 Hail Marys. Nigga, what? Nigga so simple, you walk around with rosary beads around your neck, you don't even know where they come from. You don't even know why you're wearing it. Just to be down. Listen to what it say, right? It said, it is from this chakra that all others emanate. It relates to pure consciousness in Hindu literature. It is known as the supreme center of contact with God. This is what it say this means. But see, again, right? But we have to look at stuff with the Kabbalah. Let me show y'all a picture of the Hindu god.
Third eye.
No, see, that's the 6th chakra. See, this chakra, because I read a book on Christ consciousness in prison. So that's what they try to say that the Ruach is. That once you reach Christ consciousness, because see how they try to work this now, so you can know, you can do your own research, find out for yourself. They say that Yahusha didn't go back to heaven. That he went to the east and went to India and all that, and when it taught them something different that he taught his apostles. So the Hindus and the Buddhists got some info that he didn't give the Jews, and it's really all the same thing leading to the same place. This is what they tell you. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're Buddhist, if you're this, if you're that. It's all the same thing to get you to the same place, and that's to the mother goddess in Pan. That's where it's to get you to. It's to get you to worship the beast. That's what it's to get you to. You can think I'm lying. Go look it up for yourself. I told them about this last night. Y'all ever seen them hats Carmelo Anthony wear with that number 7 on it? Now, Carmelo Anthony is a 5%er, a confessed and open 5%. You know what I'm saying? The name of the company is Compound. Like I said, he changed his number to number 7, just like Kevin Durant. He's a hermeticist. Look up Hermes Trismegistus, research him for yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Hermes Trismegistus is based off what they call chakras, or that the body is really just symbolic of metaphysics. But it's really Hindu teaching. It's really dealing with chakras. That number 7 is representative of the crown chakra, which is representative of the mother goddess, because that's who they serve. They don't serve you. They don't serve Yahusha. They serve Pan and Astaroth or Astarte or whatever you want to call that. She got many names, but at the end of the day, it's just Isis. But so y'all can see, this is a picture of the Hindu god. That's over the 7th chakra. This is a picture of it.
It looks so simple. That looks like a
Pentagram.
No, that's the lotus flower. Now, why is the lotus flower important? This is what it says. The Sashara is described as a lotus flower with 1,000 petals of different colors. These petals are arranged in 20 layers. But let me see why this is important about this lotus flower. Let's delve more into history. The lotus flower is a symbol of ancient Egypt. The lotus flower is representative of a particular deity, and that deity is Horus, or Adam Ra, the sun god. But also, when you go to dealing with, where is this? Now, in India, it's symbolic of Vishnu. Y'all heard of Vishnu before? That's the elephant god. That's the elephant god. But now let's come over here to this Kabbalah tree. How many of you ever heard of the Kabbalah tree of life? How many of y'all ever heard of that? Well, we'll take a look at it. Yeah, the Kabbalah has a tree of life. When you deal with Kabbalah, it has a tree of life. Usually when you see them, like I said, you wear them red things, that's a mysticism. It's witchcraft is what it is. But let me share this with you. All right. The tree of life is derived from the flower of life. In Hebrew, it's the mystical symbol within the Kabbalah of the esoteric Judaism used to describe the path to God. It is an arrangement of 10 interconnected spheres called the Seraroth, meaning spheres, which represent the central organizational system of the Jewish Kabbalistic tradition or cosmology of the Kabbalah. The tree of life is considered to be the map of the universe and the psyche, the order of creation of the cosmos, and the path to spiritual illumination. But notice that it says the tree of life is from the flower of life, which is the lotus flower. And that lotus flower is for the mother goddess. So the tree of life is like at the top of the Kabbalah thing right here. I can show it to you. Y'all have to. No, it's not coming through. Maybe I need to take the brightness down. Oh, that's not good. Well, that right there, that's the Kabbalah tree of life right there. At the top of it right there is representative of the tree of life, or the head of the Kabbalistic tree. Now, see, that's 5%. They say I'm God, arm, leg, arm, head. Then they go to hitting you with today's mathematics God and the supreme alphabet and all that stuff. And all that stuff is mysticism. This is why this sin is a reproach to any people, because this is what these people really believe. It doesn't matter if you don't think it's relevant. They really believe it, and they're pushing the world towards that. You know what I'm saying? Because that tree of life is representative of the lotus flower, which is representative of Horus, or aka the horn god, or aka the Baphomet, or Pan, or whatever you want to call it, which is also balanced out by the mother goddess, who is Astaroth. That's why the whore is riding upon that beast, because the horn god is who supports the whore. Because you worship the whore in public and the horn god in private. But now they're going to get to the point they're not worshiping the horn god in private anymore. They're just going to do it in the open. And like I told you last night, they drink blood, they kill children, they rape children, they do a lot of perverse things. They believe in pederasty. They believe in bestiality. They believe in cannibalism. Everything that Yahuwah said not to do, they do. And what did Daniel 8 say? In his hand, it will practice, and it will prosper. What's the first thing that it said in Daniel 8 about them people, man? He said they wouldn't repent from their murders or their thefts or their sorceries or their worshiping of gods of wood, silver, and gold. They're not going to stop. That's why you have to sit back and see, right, as the truth is being cast to the ground, you got to pick it up. And you have to hold it. It's already written. But see, I'm telling you this stuff because, see, once you're aware, it's not about knowing about Illuminati like I keep telling you. Study ancient cultures and their belief systems, and you'll look around and notice that you see it everywhere you go. Like y'all know, the Starbucks symbol, that's Astaroth. You know what I'm saying? And they put it right there in your face. But that's really ISIS, which is really the whore. The reason why I mentioned the whore, who was the whore of Babylon be commiserate to in the scriptures before we get out of here for this evening? Who would she be commiserate to? Technically, she wouldn't. But I'm thinking about somebody else. And I say that, let me clarify why I say that. Because what did we read in Revelation 17? That she was drunken with the blood of the saints and the martyrs of Yahushua. So who would she be commiserated to? And that would be correct. It would be Jezebel. Because what did Jezebel seek to do? Kill the prophets. And what was she causing Yasharal to do? Commit fornication with Baal. And anybody who went against the worship of Baal for Yahuwah, she slayed. Come over here to Revelation 2, and then we'll get out of here for this evening and continue y'all willing on the moment.
You said Semiramis is paying too?
Semiramis is a woman. So Semiramis is the mother goddess. Nimrod would be equivalent to man because it's all the same person. When you get to the root of it, it's really they worship of Adam and Eve. Revelation chapter 2, verse 18. And unto the Malachim of the synagogue in Thyatira write these things, saith the son of Elohim, who have his eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet are like brass. I know your works, your love, and service, and faith, and your patience, and your works, and the last to be more than the first. Keep that in mind, right? He said that your last works were greater than when you started. That's the type of mind frame that you need to have. He said, notwithstanding, I have a few things against you, because you suffered that woman Jezebel, which called herself a prophetess, to teach and seduce my servants to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. And now, of course, if we go read Isaiah 47 and tell you about how Babylon said, I won't see no evil, because she is ashamed. See, a lot of people get caught up and they get messed up because they refuse to be ashamed. That's what we were talking about last night, when you said you puffed up when you ought to have more. Because when you get to that point, Yahuwah harden your heart because he was determined to destroy you. He don't like pride. He don't do nothing with it. Now look what he said. He said, I gave you space to turn. He said, but you wouldn't do it. He said, but I will cast her in the bed, and them that committed adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. And I will kill her sons with death. And all the synagogues shall know that I am he who search the heart and search the reins and the hearts, and I will give every one of you according to your works. Now look what he told you to do. Oh, you don't want to listen? I kill your sons. See, a lot of people think it's a game, but that fornication and that adultery is going to go hard in the earth. Because this woman is trying to get you to cheat on your husband. That's why Paul told you, he said, I've espoused you as a chaste woman under Mashiach. Matter of fact, let's end with that. 2 Corinthians chapter 11. Muffin man, cut it out, man. He ain't did nothing to you, cuz. 2 Corinthians 11:1. He said, would the Elohim, you could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me. or I'm jealous over you with a godly jealousy, for I've espoused you to one husband, that I might present you a chaste virgin to Mashiach. But that whore and that beast, the beast trying to get you to marry him. At the end of the day, when Yahuwah sat down and taught us that covenant, it was for us to do what according to Ezekiel 16? Marry him. You know what I'm saying? You got a man. You know the hallmark of a good woman? Not that she tell a nigga she got a man, but that she don't even respond. Because you know what I tell a man, if you take the time to say, I got a man, he know he got an entryway because you responded. You responded. Because if it was that serious, you wouldn't even respond. You know, some women be like, oh, I told that nigga I ain't got no man. I got a man in my key. He already know, oh, you responded. If I just keep coming, I'll break the ice. That's how niggas think. I'm just telling you, that's how men think. A man know that if you was really down with your nigga, you wouldn't even say nothing. You'll just keep on walking. You ain't gonna keep telling nigga I got a man. Well, if you told him you got a man, you only tell him one time. You ain't gonna tell him again. Because man, I tell you, men and women think differently. That nigga like, oh boy. That's no different if she ain't got no man. I don't want to talk to you, but you told me you ain't want to talk to me. So I'm gonna keep on trying. Because eventually you'll get tired. Just telling us how niggas think. Am I lying? Yeah, y'all think that. That's how niggas look at. Nigga look at, hey baby, what's happening? You can keep on going. She be like, shoot, she don't even like when she got a nigga. And he good with it. Cause niggas gonna try it. I'm talking to say about you can't give a nigga a crack. You can't leave the door crack. Cause he feel like you leave the door crack, he can get the door in. Definitely gonna try to. Cause he knew it was serious. Door be locked, deadbolt be on, and the chain on. And nigga like I said, I'm tired of kicking. He ain't gonna let me in, bro. He can go to the next one. But the beast trying to get you to leave your husband. That's why I say commit fornication, commit adultery against your Lord. That's what he's trying to get you to do. And what is the penalty for those crimes? Death. That's why he wants you to take that mark. Because now you married to him. And what did Yahuwah say you can't do? That's what the law say. Ain't that what the law say? Can't do it. Indeed. But this is how Satan look at it. Satan don't look at it that you spoken for. Satan look at it as I can get him. See, every no good nigga feel like he can get every woman. Even though in reality, every woman don't want you. Every woman you come across don't want you. You know what I'm saying? He said, but I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Mashiach. And we might could go over some of that stuff tomorrow, but that stuff pretty plain. Because the other gospel that they looking to preach is the gospel that Satan is trying to preach, that he is the Lord, that he's Yahushua. That's the other gospel. He say, for he that come preach another Yahushua whom we have not preached, or if you receive another Ruach which you have not received, or another gospel which you have not accepted, you might bear well with him. And what did Paul tell him in Galatians? What should happen if somebody come bring another gospel? Let him be damned. But hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, man. I appreciate y'all time. You know, bless y'all out the house of y'all name of Yahushua. You who are willing, pick it up on tomorrow, 8:30, regular start time, because it's a Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? And we'll pick it up and do it again. But y'all willing till that time.